Oh, did you hear, Void? There's rumours of a Skyward Sword Switch re-release being considered. Oh man, I had a whole video planned out for it. You know, I was going to talk about all the different fixes that needed to be done, how they could have changed the game to make it work, what the last HD Zelda games could have done. I had the whole shebang planned out. This time next week, the annual Game Awards 2018 will be broadcasted across the world with their 30 categories. Jesus Christ, 30? Celebrating video games of all types and putting together a show of the developers' latest and greatest creations. And though I'm sure many are genuinely invested in who's going to win that Best Mobile Game Award, there are two main draws to the annual Game Awards in the form of the most important prize, the Game of the Year award, and the regular slots for the announcement of new and exciting projects in the works. And though I could easily make this video a simple prediction of what I expect to win each category with my vastly uninformed experience towards 80% of the lineup, I figured I'd instead give myself the bigger challenge at taking a stab at what could be announced at the Game Awards 2018. And to make sure I'm not just spouting random wishful thinking on my part, I'm going to try and push a bit of logic onto it by looking through announcements from previous years, as well as reminding us all of the announced upcoming games we may have forgotten about in the past. So starting off, let's look at last year's Game Awards and the hype initiated there. As a start, Game of the Year winner Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild came out with their own announcement of the second pack of DLC in the form of the Champion's Ballad, and though there was almost room for some new Zelda news, it's doubtful this would be the case for 2 years in a row. And looking at the current Game of the Year lineup, there looks to be a handful of options once again too. Particularly looking at Rockstar's track record with DLC and Red Dead Redemption 2, and there's a good chance that the beloved Undead Nightmare expansion pack could be getting a sequel. There are plenty of strong hints and Easter eggs to the expansion scattered within the world of Red Dead Redemption 2, though it should be noted that Rockstar are also working their fingers off for Red Dead Online, so if any nod to this will appear in any form, it will likely be a simple teaser trailer, or one that won't be followed up for a good long while. Moving over to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and they've already got the ball rolling with the first episode of their DLC expansion pack releasing a few days before the awards. They might just rehash the same launch trailer to the event, or perhaps show off the very next episode to hype up fans for the next installment piece. Marvel's Spider-Man has a similar thing going for it, with 2 out of 3 DLC chapter pieces already released to the world, but a trailer for the third could still pop up despite releasing in December. God of War has no outstanding thoughts on DLC, but apparently appears expandable, at least through side content and not story. And the others? I don't expect too much. Now moving on, ongoing games like PUBG and Fortnite each had a little trailer last year boasting some new thing, whether it's a new 50v50 team mode or simply a new map. And though only one of them reached Best Ongoing Game for this year as well, they are both very prevalent in the Best Mobile Game category. And if they're at all worth their salt, they'll likely have something new to show whether you like it or not. Season 7 with a flair of something? What comes after Thanos and Wreck-It Ralph? Toy Story? Or just more in-your-face Wreck-It Ralph stuff? And PUBG supposedly has a snow map coming real soon. Is it literally just going to be a carbon copy of the reveals last year? Nintendo also announced a new series of theirs getting a new installment and some classic Switch ports to go with it, with Bayonetta 1 and 2 and 3 coming soon. We may get another Bayonetta 3 trailer, and less of a teaser this time. Alternatively, how's about some other potential Switch ports? No, not that one. But we could get Super Mario Maker, Super Mario 3D World, The Wonderful 101, Yoshi's Woolly World, Xenoblade Chronicles X, Pikmin 3, or if not another HD Zelda game, give us a 2-piece Zelda HD collection port with the last 2 Zelda remasters. Basically what I'm saying is we should bleed the Wii U dry and leave behind the basics like Zombie U and Star Fox Guard. Speaking on Nintendo, there's actually a good deal of upcoming games we've barely seen that Nintendo could expose to us on the night. Obviously the big one is Metroid Prime 4, I think everyone and their mother's been guessing about that one. But you know what else we haven't seen a screenshot of? Mainline Pokemon 2019. Initially announced way back in E3 of 2017, it's been hidden away and only ever talked about as we've since received Pokemon Quest and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. But with them fully released and out of the way, it's possible another Pokemon game is to jump into the limelight soon. Though maybe right now is a tad too soon, the last one just came out. There was also the newly confirmed Animal Crossing 2019 announced during a Nintendo Direct back in September. That could also be making a reappearance on the big screen. But enough about Nintendo. The majority of games announced at the Game Awards are often of series that are a little smaller than the major name titles and sometimes seem to come out of nowhere. Is there a major place to hear about upcoming VR and AR games? It doesn't seem as obvious as everything else. Well, regardless, let's talk about the other companies in the gaming industry as a whole and their upcoming games. The easiest way to do that, of course, is through E3 2018, and the games you might have forgotten were in development. From gaming titan Bethesda, we have the freshly teased 6th Elder Scrolls installment with nary a line to make judgments on. Perhaps a slightly larger tease is in order, or a full-blown trailer. That could be cool too. And though Fallout 76 has just been released to the masses and is just doing ecstatically well, Bethesda does now have a third major franchise in the making with their space-oriented Starfield. What does it have in store for us? Endless potential going by the lack of information we know so far. Not always a winning formula and should be taken with a grain of salt considering it comes from Bethesda, but if there's ever a place to debut something new... And though I'm very doubtful, again needing a giant sack of salt, maybe we'll get some more Diablo information. I'm sure everyone will be excited for that one now. Thank you for making it to the halfway mark. Since you've watched this far into the video, I figure you're liking my content, so why not consider subscribing? I'm generally a Nintendo content creator, but when it comes to events like this and E3, I can cover pretty much everything. If top 10s, speculations, and awkward newbie IRL skits are your thing, because I only just started making them, then I'm your guy. I also have a Twitch page where I stream a variety of mostly Nintendo games and specifically a whole bunch of Smash Ultimate when it comes out. Other links are my Twitter for updates and my Patreon for those that want to support me and what I do more, since I'm just a small YouTuber on here, though I'm surprisingly getting bigger. Thanks guys. Can't wait for Article 13 to just completely gut out all my accomplishments. Any pledge gets you all of my Patreon rewards. And actually, while I'm sure you've probably heard plenty of people telling you to go out and badger your representatives to change their Article 13 vote, here's another way you can make a difference that's a little less intimidating than a phone call. In the description, I'll have a link to a change.org page doing practically the same thing, but has amassed a giant signature following, so could be even more effective at getting our voices heard. Thank you very much for listening. Okay, enough politics, let's go back to the video, shall we? Moving over to some of Microsoft's E3 announcements, we have the newly engined new installment of the Halo series with Halo Infinite. There's not much to go on, so we'll move swiftly ahead. Next up is Devil May Cry 5, set to release in spring of 2019, so a Game Awards trailer fits right in timeline-wise. We've also got Wolfenstein Youngblood, Rage 2, The Division 2, Crackdown 3, a personal favourite of mine, and Cyberpunk 2077, a personal favourite of everyone else. Considering the giant amount of hype built up for this game, I think I'd be quite surprised if it doesn't make an appearance at the Game Awards, though its release date doesn't even say 2019. Just your classic, titillatingly barren activity, or TBA for short. Not to mention that Gears 5 game a few people were excited about, and of course, Gears Pop, which honestly I'd be quite entertained if that got a trailer whilst 5 didn't, but still, there's a lot of potential there. Coming over to PlayStation's conference, we've also got games such as Kingdom Hearts 3, which just got a trailer a week ago, so it's iffy if there'll be more to show before release in January, The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, yeah, you remember that one from 5 months ago? Beyond Good and Evil 2, Just Cause 4, although coming out 3 days before the awards, could again still get some kind of launch trailer slot, and Death Stranding. Yeah, remember that one? Announced at E3 2016, given a trailer at the 2016 Game Awards and 2017, and still doesn't even have a 2019 release date. But I expect to see it again. Get used to it. All these games listed here I think have a pretty good chance of making an appearance at the awards because they're all pretty large titles of their own in some form, and make a lot of sense as to why they would make a marketing push now with their early 2019 release dates. Though last year there were about 18 video game trailer slots and 2 movie ones, so the chances of all of these making an appearance are awfully slim. Guess you better pick and choose, though we're not quite done yet. EA's also been brewing up some IPs, like the heavily pushed Anthem, as much as many people want it to just go away already, as well as the genuinely curious piece of Sea of Solitude. And who knows, maybe they'll even branch out and reveal more Mario and Rabbids, or a Sims 5. What? They released another expansion pack trailer just a week ago? I can dream of a full sequel. Other more generic games I can think of making their debut on the night are the ones that simply need a new year at the end of the title. FIFA 20, NBA Live 19, Madden NFL 19, Pro Evolution Soccer 2020, you get the idea. And that basically covers the vast majority of announcement traits and potential slots for this year's Game Awards announcements. Only thing I'm leaving off are the indie games that no one can predict if they're debuting, and the same for VR and AR games really. Though Vacation Simulator, Dreams, GTFO, The Valley of Gods, Witchfire and World War Z all still haven't released and are somewhat set for 2019 despite being given a slot at last year's Game Awards. So there's always a chance they'll pop up again. All that's left to discuss now are those movie slots. Huh. I always did want to do more videos about upcoming movies. Well, last time we got Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle and The Shape of Water being shown off, and going by the assumption that the 2 movie slots will expand to more, because why wouldn't it? I think a no-brainer of a movie trailer to make a new appearance is the upcoming Detective Pikachu movie. Though pretty sudden since we literally just got the last one. But it makes sense for such a giant video game movie to be displayed at the official Video Game Awards, don't you think? Others may include a new Marvel film like Captain Marvel, Shazam or Avengers 4, though I'm doubtful, the Lego Movie 2, since that's being pushed on us recently, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Now actually, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle and Shape of Water were both set to release within about a month of last year's Game Awards, so perhaps Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and... Actually, there's not a ton of truly gripping stuff set for January. Could make an appearance. Spider-Man also lines up pretty well considering it's in the lineup for best game of the year, you know. Regardless, that's pretty much all I can expose to you about this year's upcoming Game Awards. I could have read it on about the results from 2016 and 2015, but I don't think it'd be relevant at the end of the day, so I'll be ending it off here. Be sure to let me know that I was wrong when I predicted the winners to be Red Dead Redemption 2, Fortnite, Detroit Become Human, Octopath Traveler, God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2, Brian Deckard, Detroit Become Human, Celeste, PUBG Mobile, Beat Saber, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, God of War, Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age, Dragon Ball Fighters, Overcooked 2, The Banner Saga 3, Mario Tennis Aces, Fortnite, Jera, Florence, and League of Legends. Mostly because they're meaningless guesses. I mean, I'm not even gonna try with these categories. Thank you to my Patreons for supporting me and the production of this video. Be sure to go over to that change.org page and make a difference on this constantly threatened world. That's a weird note to end on. My name's been Daz, you didn't really care, and I'll see you in a bit. What time is the Game Awards on, anyway? 1:30 in the morning? Come on, time zones.